that's all. You missed the opening streams? Me too, mate. I kind of feel like I want to do maybe more of a regular opening thing, but I don't know with what, you know, like... I kind of been enjoying just me and Helen opening them lately, but I think I'm going to start getting some just to specifically open on stream. The problem is nowadays I open stuff so quickly, I feel like, as well, you know? I feel like I open, like, a box and it's just done. It's like, oh, that was 20 minutes. Do it together with Discord. Yeah, that would actually be fun. If we do, like, if we have, like, a set time to open some stuff. Yeah, that'd actually be fun. I'd be down for that. I mean, honestly, me and James just need to get back to the Pokey Bunker Bros plan. The content. Alright, guys, bottom left is Cyan, upper right is Honmono. And we get this up and rolling. A fresh set of games here as we kick this off. Yeah, a bit of TVP action. Has a lot of TVP yesterday, including some Honmono stuff as Honmono came in pretty aggressively. Was it against Night Phoenix Honmono won, or was it... I can't remember, we casted so many. Night Phoenix was on a streak, and I think Honmono beat him. Which King of the Hill was it? It was this one? Honmono beat Night Phoenix, then lost to Forjumi, yes. And he was trying to be pretty aggressive generally in both games, so maybe a little bit of what we can expect here as well. We should do an opening stream from IEM. Yeah? I see. I mean, that would be wild. Way too much effort to set up. Maybe we could do, like, maybe, like, an Instagram live or something. Like, not on Twitch or so, but, like, something we can just do off of our phones really easily. Will we see any Zerg games today before they're all out? Probably not. Quite frankly. I mean, I kind of wanted to jump into the Zergs on the bottom, but apparently Rex and Rattata are just playing the longest ZVZ we've seen in decades, so that's kind of happening, and that made me kind of come over to this one instead, so... Adept is going to move onto the map, has been taking a bit of a direction just to maybe scout a little bit, try and pick up some info on potential proxies and stuff. Just going to be seeing Adept coming across to the top of the map, going to try for a little bit of a shade in. Just going to see a couple of barracks building already from Honmono, so he's going to go and access the 3 racks following from this factory. Now, this Adept actually gets up here and will block the factory landing. Gets in, wants to try and scout, doesn't go the right way to see the barracks though, so misses a bit of a scout as the Adept will get away at least. That's actually some really good additional news towards the very end. It's really needing factors. Second Adept shows up. I'm going to continue to trade with these Marines. Cyan will be a pretty hefty favorite in this, right? I think that's fair to say. Continue to trade well with these Marines. You can see the micro is absolutely so far there as well for Cyan, not messing around just yet. Hellion now here to try and get the cleanup and should be able to kill both Adepts, but again, these are 2 Adepts going down, 5 Marines. They did kill 1 Hellion too, so they've just been really good early on, and now the Prism of Cyan beginning to make a little bit of a move across to the other side and is going to get a bit of a warping going. So a couple of Stalkers coming in to support this. Prism continues across to the other side of the map, and we'll see how much damage we can really do with this over the next couple of moments. So we see now 2 more Stalkers warping in. I mean, this is enough to obviously then go one-shotting some of these SCVs, and that's exactly what we'll begin to aim for. 2, 3 SCVs already going down. Some good damage initially. Marines will start to get onto these Stalkers, and not enough though. With extra warpings, I mean, here comes the siege tank. That almost feels now just an essential to actually get rid of this, which is honestly kind of crazy, no? Coming back along, 9 SCVs killed. I actually think this game might just be done. Cyan's early pressure is going way too far, way too quickly. You're just getting so much out of this and ending up in fantastic place. I think this one is... I mean, it might not end here, but it may as well end here, right? With 12 SCVs down. It's just way too much damage, guys. You can't be taking that amount of damage, not on any kind of regular basis or anything. That is rough. Well, Twilight Council, Forge, Nexus, Immortal. All of this being brought on up. Continuing a third Nexus, obviously, here from Cyan as well. Getting himself set for the moment. More SCVs go down as the Stalkers actually arrive back into the back of this base. So in they go straight away. 8 SCVs do go down. Just going to be seeing an additional Zealot warping in. The Stalkers continue to push through a couple of mules, these few Marines. Continuing by also. Just going to be seeing the Hellions on the bottom side. Coming back up from the bottom, coming back up to the top, and Marines moving out a little bit. Just going to be seeing our Stalkers coming back along as well. And just again, I mean, this is the problem. Every single time you try and do anything, apparently, you're just going to get fully shut down. I mean, yeah, you just have to pull back and deal with this. You've already taken so much damage. At this point, I guess Honmono should probably just pull the boys and go, and he is pulling the boys and just going, which is the right call. Just ignore these Stalkers. Pretend they don't exist. If they do more damage, sure, let them do more damage, you know? As the Prism actually recalls back home, so now Cyan is recognizing pretty much in time that he's going to have to play the defense here because this entire army is walking his way and is about ready to make his life potentially difficult. I mean, let's see, the army supplies are even. The first tank sieged up, the other two tanks took a while to siege, but they are going to siege. There's a lot of SCVs to chew through us here. We pull all the way back to the wall off. Just going to be having a couple of tanks sieging up and still pressing forward. Marines and SCVs continue to gather together and poking our way through these couple of gateways now. 3 SCVs haven't gone down. Tanks firing up a storm on these gateways, and they will go down. Now we get access into this natural expansion. So in we go, another tank going to begin to siege. Marines still pressing forward. That one's taking some additional damage. So let's charge on the other side. A couple of Immortals will get active, continue to fight. Prism just about escapes away. I mean, Cyan does not have an army supply right now. Honmono is actually still pushing through. And we're killing off these pylons. We killed off a couple gates as well, so it's still 6 gateways. I mean, these Marines are low HP. I think Cyan just needs to wait, probably go up the natural, and then probably just engage from the third and main at the same time. I mean, he still has 2 Immortals as well, right? So you can shut down reinforcements. That's very important, I would say. Being able to shut down some of these extra Marines getting here. Anything you can stop from joining up together with this, and then you have a chance. I mean, honestly, these units are just such low HP. Really feel like they're going to start dying very quickly. We lose the mortal Cyan. That wasn't the best to control. Extra Zealots charge forward. Siege tank taking some more shots. Prism gets the warp in, though, and these extra Marines will be going down. The army supply is slipping away from Honmono, and of course, 2 bases to 2 bases still. Cyan is up 16 workers, and yeah, I don't think these Marines will be able to do it anymore. Wow. Clutch hold from Cyan. Messy, really. I don't even know if it was clutch, but it was just really messy. Wasn't going to come. All right. Turn up in towards the main. A few Marines. Looking to keep that Prism at bay as well. Gonna see a few Zealots gonna move away across Storm. +1 armor, a few High Temple all being brought in. Zealots trying to jump into the main base, but the Marines at least do get into position to zone that out. So we do kind of get a stop on that pretty quickly. The rest of these Zealots make their way back down to the south. High Templars are joining in now again with Storm coming up. Once that Storm is in play, you gotta imagine that that is going to be a pretty hefty factor here as well. We'll load a little further. Once he gives some of those High Templar in that prison, makes it hard to do much with. Going to see some Zealots. We'll shut down reinforcements, maybe get some SCVs. First Storm's available. It's not really a good way to fight Storms, is there? Absolutely not. And this one's going to be a crushing victory in favor of Cyan. Very convincing the second time around, I guess, but yeah, the first time obviously was not quite as convincing. The first time did take a little bit of love to get to, and Cyan just about hanging in there to take the 1-0 lead in the matchup. Hero164, thank you so much for the 22-month resub. How you doing? Welcome back. Thanks so much for supporting. Really appreciate it. Let's get ourselves a look at another game. Couple more moments get into map number 2 of this. I'll just sneak a minute of ads in here, guys, between now and our next game. Get this ready to go. Dragon Scale is going to be our map. Dragon Scales. Hell yeah. Alright, let's get this going. Danny the Veteran, thank you so much for gifting out a sub to Mr. Eagle. Thank you so much. Let's get ourselves back in the game. As in the top left, he got himself the hold and the defense in the end. Our red Protoss is a Cyan. Was not easy though, was it? That was definitely quite the challenge that we started off with last time around. In the bottom right, orange Darren Blair on Mono. Number 2, and we'll see what happens. I mean, he just had such a rough opening was really the issue, right? Yeah, it really was just a rough opening, to say the least, and trying to recover from there was quite the problem for him. But, I mean, we recovered in the end. It was just, like I say, a little bit messy getting to the point of recovery. And once he recovered, I don't think it was really a competition at all. Just, you know, the fact you have to give up your natural is pretty much always going to be freaking terrifying in these situations, right? So, definitely a little bit of cause for concern. We'll have our probe moving its way up and around the top here. It's going to be coming around. Now we're going to head back down. A little bit of an adventure to start us off. Nothing too crazy, though. Obviously, scouting, always nice. Try and pick up exact info as to what's happening. Probe does go down, obviously. Does not see an expansion. There's a full 1-1-1 from Honmono, so he is going to get very aggressive into this base very quickly. That's going to be going into double mine. With double mine, we're actually going to end up going probably an armory as well, right? And, I mean, this wouldn't just be like a super fast 4 mine drop. Right? Question mark? Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I feel like that would be one of the weirder choices you could make. Maybe we do. It just feels like if you're going to start making this many mines, especially this early in the game, you almost always benefit more from having an armory because it does cause quite a bit of chaos when it comes to having to defend it. The Adept checks again and doesn't really see any units. I think he's going to now be like, huh, I am a little bit worried. And being a little bit worried, I am going to decide to back it up a little bit. I think that's a very responsible decision so far from Cyan. Just bring his unit back home and say, yeah, not 100% sure what you're doing, because of that, I want to just have as much at home as possible, because that's the most likely way I'm going to defend easily and put myself in a good, strong position to actually play this out and keep myself in the running for this. Now, he's going Dark Shrine as well, which doesn't immediately help defensively at all, right? So that's also kind of part of the problem here. Let me see now. First mine's coming in. We do have some burrows up for a single kill. No way to detect either. We're going to have to build the robo. There is the armory as well. It is up, so we do go for that. We're just going to go bang. Oh my god, that mine nearly had a dead center shot. That would have obviously been very painful. 5 probes drop. Just those 5 probes for the moment, as the medevac is going to come boosting to the top with 4 more mines. Some more damage to be done in these next few moments. He's going to have a couple more mines ready to go. This has allowed him to scout the Dark Shrine as well, so you do know there's DTs available, and hence the Raven on the way. 2 more probes. I mean, again, we're just waiting for the robo. Without the robo, you can't actually clean this out, so yes, we do have a bit of a problem right now. And okay, Cyan. Is he just dead, right? I mean, Raven's going to be out, so the DTs will not really do anything. He's lost a lot of workers. He's got to now build the obs. He's losing a ton of mining time. Even when the obs pops out, he's going to lose. He's still going to have lost every probe on this natural. Then you're probably going to lose more probes in the main. And as soon as he sees the Raven, I think he leaves the game. Because if there's no Raven, maybe you can kind of get him on a low number of scans or something. But with the Raven, yeah, I'm honestly surprised to see him still in the game. I honestly thought he might have just tapped out straight away there. I was wrong. He does not, but it's obviously not looking pretty for him. As we're going to try and actually evacuate some of these mines as well. Gets 2 of them, so this medevac will enable these mines to come back again, once more, just in case they hadn't already caused enough trouble. I think I'll have 1 more of them. I mean, again, it's just the damage is already done. But, if we want to just keep telling this story. Medevac mine. And out and down the front. Archon will come in for a few shots of damage. Get that medevac a little bit lower. Gonna have our mine dropping. Actually hits the Archon, which takes some shields off of it as well. Mono is now just taking the natural as well, so that's worth remembering too, I suppose, that this natural's obviously been taken more slowly than usual, so that's also got to be a little bit of a factor, I guess. Definitely something. It's just going to be seeing our Marines, the tank, the couple of Ravens, actually having 2 Ravens up. In fact, goes back, just going to see this ob still journeying down the south. Server moves into the main base again, keeping an eye on everything. It's going to be seeing that charge coming up. A couple extra barracks still coming through. Army of Mono just again having a little bit of a move around, look to see what's going on. Let's start now to launch a little bit of a journey across the other side. Going to pull the SCVs. I mean, to be fair, he knows he's in winning position. He knows he can probably end the game with this, and he's just going to make the move, believing in that, and I do not blame him one little bit. I think it's the right call. I think it's the right choice. And away we go. SCVs, Marines, Marauders, tanks, all on the push. Going to Matrix and Archon to make this more likely, and quite frankly, I don't even think a super battery is going to make much difference here, guys. Tanks get siege, we will just use the tanks, and we are just going to play this probably as safely as you can, realistically. Actually have a little bit of a counterattack attempt from Cyan, who will, obviously try anything possible to stay in this, but again, really on the side of unlikely at this stage. The Immortal and the Archon get hit by Matrixes as well. Cyan will tap out. We're going to see a game 3 here between these guys. So we'll be getting that up and running very shortly, as Cyan and Honmono are going to go the distance. Honmono just doing very well with those initial mines, putting him into a great place, and on we go. Finally, Akira did finally finish up as well, by the way, against Trifax, so he's going to play Percival. Spirit's going to play Rex, so Rex has come out victorious as well. And that's all setting up for our full quarterfinal lineup. So I'll just have to sneak another... Yeah, let's get just another... Let's go 2 minutes of ads, I guess. Just to be safe, guys. Don't want to run into trouble if we can avoid it. Also going to get invited to Grezvan. Is it Grezvan? Grevan? I feel like I want to say this map name in a funny way, and I don't really have a good reason why. I assume everyone's probably just calling it Grezvan, but like, I wonder if there is maybe I don't know, Grezvan doesn't sound pretty coming out your mouth. Does that make sense? Like, Grezvan doesn't sound like the greatest kind of map name I've ever heard, I guess. I suppose. Cyan should have made Hydras. Yeah. I mean, just unlucky because he's rushing DTs without even a Prism, right? So if you go Prism with the DTs, at least he has a Robo, so he can actually make himself, you know, an OBS, but he didn't even go for that, so it's really just a little bit brutal for him. As we dive into the top left-hand side, our Red Protoss player from Good Game Gaming, tied up and going to his game 3. It is Cyan. And again, winner of this is already in the prize money today, guys, so that's obviously fairly notable. As I think either of these guys would be happy just to cash in a little bit on this first WardiTV Open event of the year. First WardiTV event of the year. And again, maybe they'll be happy with some Wardy points as well. Like I say, those WardiTV points are absolutely going to add up. Last year, being highly ranked in the WardiTV points just guaranteed you a couple $100 even, depending on how high you were. Going into our end-of-year championships, so that's very fun as well. And obviously just the chance to play in that end-of-year championship without having to play in what was some very stacked qualifiers as well, so... Mono in the bottom right, Cyan in the upper left. I already introduced Cyan, but Mono's in the bottom right. He is the player who I think is, showing up and really playing well lately. 2-0 against Mio Micah today, and yeah, you can see why, because he's looking pretty good against Cyan as well. Just some of these more aggressive builds, happy to come out with them and bring that aggression if needed, just as a way to mix it up and to keep things very interesting, honestly. Cybercore going down. As our Nexus will build up on the natural expansion as well. And we do have a little probe scout that will see an expansion, and I'm sure that is cause for celebration considering how the last game went with the cloaked mines and everything. You see an expansion now, you've got to be at least a little bit happy, right? You got to kind of let yourself smile a little bit, like, oh goodness, you know, got to admit, like, you don't really want to play against that aggression again. Cyan was in that shaky position that first game as well, so it's definitely not been, plain sailing for him in any way, shape, or form, really, thus far. Of the scouts around the back, just going to be seeing the refinery. Fill mine with a couple of SCVs there. And a couple of our Marines coming through, and our probes going to get pushed out to the back here, so probably getting pushed around a little bit. It's going to go down. Marines able to capitalize and pick up on that, which is very nice. Alright, well, it is going to be into that factory and 2 more racks again. I mean, if I'm Honmono, obviously this is a build I like, because I tried to use it the first time around. Have to take some damage, a few Marines come around. I see our Marines coming through for the moment. Just looking to push that Adept back that little bit. Oracle gonna go moving it wrong. Toughest Oracle will come by, and Cyan will get a couple shots off, but then does start to take some damage. Oracle actually goes pretty low for 2 SCVs. The Hellions are across the map, and they could maybe threaten a little bit of a run by here, so eyes open for that as they start to move through. Hellions ready to strike this base. The Oracle, darting around a Widow Mine in the mineral line for the moment. Being a little bit careful about that. Here, the Hellions, Oracle defensively to help some extra damage. If you get rid of that first Hellion, you get rid of the one-shot potential, then these probes should never really die from there. That is pretty much what ends up going down in the end. Alright, so 2 probes die. I mean, we had a few SCVs going down as well on the other side, so all of that was happening. It's going to get a little bit more of a cleanup. Engineering bay is about to finish, and just going to see Cyan is pretty happy as well, just going straight into his next Nexus here. So gets that placed and ready to go as well, so that's already on the way up. Oracle and the Phoenix combined, so just more of what we kind of saw from Cyan back in game number 1. Obviously, he was doing this off of a pretty hefty lead in that first game, but he's actually going to go Dog Shrine here as well, so we'll mix it up a little bit. We'll get that going. A few Marines trying to chase away. Marines tanks pulling back. Phoenix taking a couple shots of damage. There's a little revelation going to go on Marines and tanks as well. It's just coming through with that. And here come the SCVs, because apparently that's just what Honmono does best. Pulling the boys. And away we go. Off on a little bit of a journey. So, wandering across the other side. SCVs are pulled. Marines and tanks are with this. And how are we going to do in these next few moments? Just gonna have a SCV's getting here. Zealots are ready to meet this, but there's not really any damage dealers apart from these Zealots. There's not like an amazing way to kind of go and jump on all of this, right? I can't say that I love this straight away. DT shows up, but the thing is the DTs need to start doing damage elsewhere, and they get shut down across the map pretty quickly, so that's not exactly ideal either. A couple tank shots, and Zealot gets pushed back. Combat shield on the way up as well. That might finish at some point. We get a turret here too, so we're not going to run out of scans. We'll have the turret to protect against DTs. I actually genuinely think Cyan is in some pretty hefty trouble right now, no? You can see our Marine's still working through this gateway, and that will be going down as well. So gateway falls, and we're losing production. We're losing ways for Cyan to be able to clean this up. Obviously, the less production you have, the less Zealots you can build, and Zealots are kind of the big deal right now. You pop the super battery to what? Buy some time? It's not going to do anything. Oh my goodness, this is turned into an absolute disaster right now. This is just falling apart. I mean, what are we waiting for? Just more units, I suppose, but right now Cyan's supply block pretty heavily as well. I feel like Honmono doesn't want to get too far away from his tanks, but I mean, you kill this Nexus, that'll supply block Cyan again. Here we go, this is going to be the move. This stim as well of these Marines. We lift up one of the siege tanks, one of them finally dies. The Phoenix will go down, the tank gets dropped back into place. Honmono easily, comfortably is going to hold on to this, guys. This was not a contest, quite frankly. And just going to be seeing a lot of pros going down. Now, we did lose some SCVs in this fight, but that was obviously expected to happen, because obviously this was happening with the, entire SCV pool, so you're always going to lose some amount of workers here. You have a few more units from behind. I mean, the bunker will protect a little bit as the siege tank runs around and tries to be as annoying as possible. Getting rid of gateways still. I think Honmono still, no matter what, here is going to end up with enough to realistically be okay, and Cyan is eliminated. How about that for a little bit of an upset, huh? Something a little bit different to expectations going down here today in our quarterfinals, Honmono is going to make it to the semis. Cyan, I thought, was a pretty safe bet to kind of come through here, and probably, like I said, definitely came in as a favorite for me. So, yeah, a little bit surprising. And congrats on Mono, going to get himself into the prize money for now. Hell yeah. And obviously, semifinals still to play. And we actually just got that semifinal set up, by the way, guys. MaxPax will be playing Honmono in our semifinal. That will be coming up pretty much as soon as these guys veto. So, we'll get that set to go. Alright, Honmono MaxPax pretty much, guys. That's going to be coming up next. I guess we swap back over to NA and get that ready to go. So that's going to be some TVP. I guess we'll just take the full 3-minute break here, guys. I'll quickly put the break screen on. I'll come back with you guys. We have MaxPax and Honmono ready to go for our first semi-final of the day in the WardiTV January Open. Don't go anywhere! I'll see you guys very soon. Hello, and welcome back, guys. MaxPax and Honmono are vetoing, if I'm not mistaken, and should be ready to go in just a few moments. This is just best of 3, right? Perfect. Press 1 to confirm Cabal Council allegiance, yeah. Get those ones in chat, guys. Get those ones in the chat. You can see this multitasking, guys. So efficient. Organizing my Pokemon cards. Oh. How's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling? Everyone having a good day? Everyone having a good... It's the weekend, right? It's the weekend. Yeah, I didn't stream last weekend because I was in Liverpool playing Pokemon cards. Would you guys believe I got scammed on the dumbest tournament format that I think ever existed? Being a tournament organizer, it bothered me twice as much. Like, if I feel like I was just a regular player, I wouldn't have cared. I'd be like, that's the way things are. Because I'm a tournament organizer, I'm like, man, that's so dumb. You guys want to hear this story, or do you... Everyone's going to be like, no. You told us already, Wardy. I probably did. W, how you doing, mate? Thank you so much for the 53-month resub. You guys do. So, Pokemon tournaments are in, like, Swiss format. So, basically, like, you know, you play a match. Everyone gets, like, you know, an opponent round 1. And then if you win round 1, you're 1-0, and then you play against someone else that's 1-0 pretty much. And basically everyone gets the next round at the same time, and you play 9 rounds of this. So pretty much essentially it's like, in a way it's kind of like triple elimination, where if you lose a third time, you're essentially out, but you can still play because you'll just get matched up with someone that's 0-3 with you, or, you know, 0-3 as well. So pretty much every round you're playing someone that's got the same score as you, right? So this is a fine format because... essentially, you know, it does a pretty good job of saying the people who are winning the most keep on playing against each other, and they get put higher up and so on, right? The issue comes is when you distribute prizing, right? So, the prizing structure is, obviously, first of all, top 8 play like a little playoff bracket as well. So this issue also applies to top 8, where people can have the same problem. But basically, I ended up 5-2-2, so 5 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses, right? Which is 17 match points, 3 points for a win, 2 points for a tie. So I have 17 points. So 17 points was good enough to be top 128. It's good enough to be top 100 even, but top 128 is actually like the prizing. With the amount of players we had, top 128 is like the first point at which you can earn championship points and other prizes in the tournament. So I have 17 points, so in theory I'm top 128. But they don't do, because there's more people in top 128 in theory than 128, they do a tiebreaker. And the tiebreaker is based on, are you ready for this? Your opponent's win percentage. Oh, why have I got my own stream muted? So, basically, what it's saying is that, you know, certain people played players who had a better record, right? Essentially. So it's basically like, how strong were my opponents compared to the rest of the field? Right? Okay. And that's really fucking stupid because you can just forfeit and not play any games. So for example, my second last round opponent didn't play his last round because he didn't want to. So his record is worse than it could have been, which fucks me over, you know. So TLDR, I got 131st because of RNG, basically. And I know that's how it works, guys. I know that's Swiss. That doesn't make it cool. Especially for at least, like, I can understand maybe you can't give physical prizing to whoever gets 17 points, but, like, I feel like you could just give the championship points to whoever gets 17 points, you know? Like, it's like, oh, 17 points was enough for top 128, then you get in, you know, you all get championship points then, you know? So, you know what I mean? Like, am I crazy? I get it. That's how it works. That's how it goes. But, like, seriously, like, I think it's dumb. No? Hate it. Dumb format. Dumb format. Was this VGC or TCG? Yeah. To be fair, I got nothing. Even though I tied with basically people. Yeah, I get, don't get me wrong. I get that's how it works. I know it's that in a bunch of different games. I don't necessarily think it's bad. For example, if there was physical prizing, I can't expect them to be like, oh, we'll just, you know, provide 15 more physical prizes. And so I could understand that. But I feel like I could have at least got given the freaking championship points. Like, hey, you did just as well as these other guys. Here, have your championship points. And what I think what really bothers me is the fact that my second to last opponent literally just didn't play his match. And if he played and he won, then I would have been top 128, right? I think that's the part that bothers me the most. Because it's literally just RNG if your other opponents give up or not. It's not just like, oh, this guy was bad and he like went 0-9. It's like, oh, someone good, had a bad start and they decided to just stop playing the rest of the tournament. So they were like 1-4, when if they kept playing, they probably could have ended 5-4 because they had nothing to play for. That's why it's dumb. Because you're basing the results off of... You're basing all of the results off of the idea that everyone will keep playing when not everyone has people to play for, right? Or anything to play for. Oh, anyways, rant over. So, yeah. TLDR. Wardy got scammed. 131st. Sads all around. So, yeah, I was actually kind of amazed by this. Sorry, I'm just following this probe. Let's watch this adept. I was kind of amazed by this as Honmono's doing this Widow Mine drop build that we saw previously. So apparently you're allowed to just give up and lose a match. Like, forfeit a match. So I thought this was crazy because you can essentially match fix the bracket. So a few tournaments ago, the person who was in the first seed forfeited their last 2 matches because they were playing against decks they were favored against, and they wanted those decks to be in the top 8 instead of other potential decks. So they just forfeit. They just say, oh yeah, I lose this match, congrats, you get a win. Because they're already guaranteed top 8, and they wanted to skew the top 8 into their favor. In StarCraft 2, that's like hardcore match fixing. Can you imagine Cell's just like, yeah, actually I want to lose to this guy to let, as Terran player into the top 8 instead of someone else? When I heard this, I was like, that's match fixing. But it's in the rules, you can do it. Honestly, crazy. Card games are wild. Freaking wild. So yeah. That's actually like, it's just like bonkers how different it is. So anyway, there's my rant. There's how Wardy went all the way to Liverpool, played like a boss, and freaking didn't get anything. Anyways. But mines will come through and attempt to kind of do some more damage. MaxPax is showing us pretty much how you're meant to deal with this, right? Especially with the Phoenix. They're so good at shutting down the medevac, lifting up the mines and everything. They've been great at this so far and continuing to be pretty good at it. Now, these 2 mines need to be cleaned up. We need detection. The Observer is out. It's on the way. So these mines will go down as well. They will not fire again. 3 workers lost. We lost 8 mines, 1 medevac. This medevac gets away. I think MaxPax lost track of it a little bit, but is going to be able to pull away with that. And it should be all good towards the end. You thought match fixing was dropping a game for money? Well, it's dropping. I mean, match fixing is like just fixing the result of a match for any reason, right? So in this regard, you're fixing the result of a match essentially because it benefits you in the long term. So maybe it's not match fixing, but yeah, I mean, it's just a part of Swiss, I guess. It's just a part of Swiss, and it's something you can't really stop, so you just allow it to happen because there's no good way to regulate it. Because you can't stop someone from just going in and playing badly and making mistakes, right? So there's not really a way to fix it, but that doesn't make me feel any better about it, MaxPax just has way too much here, guys. I'm just off on a rant, but this game was somewhat decided when MaxPax had a very solid hold, obviously. Put himself in a very good position and is going to be able to just close out there and get a W on this first game. GG's. MaxPax 1-0 up in our semi-finals. So yeah, you kind of defend the Widow Mines and you kind of tackle the Phoenix, you kill everything and you have a great time. GG's, what a wild time. It is match fixing? Yeah, I mean, I don't care what you want to call it. To me, it's match fixing, right? Like, to me, that's like a holy crap, you can't do that, but yeah, apparently that's just part of playing Swiss in card games. It's freaking bonkers to me, Like, this blows my mind. Like, as someone who runs StarCraft tournaments and, tries, and all of this and all the drama we've had with, like, fixing results in StarCraft in the past and stuff, I'm like, man, how can this, like, it's just allowed. Like, it's just allowed to happen. Didn't even pay attention to the game. Honestly, I will not lie. I don't think anyone will complain if I tell you guys that this was just not a crazy good game. There wasn't really much you guys missed out on if you didn't pay attention there, honestly. To be completely honest with you. It was a defense and a follow-up, pretty much. Let's get into game number 2. There needs to be some incentive to win every game, but yeah, well, what do you do that for? Or what do you do with that? Maybe they should just give like, in my eyes, you should just give championship points for every win. Right? Say you expect, like, top 128 to be, like, 5 wins or so. Then maybe you just say, hey, 5 championship points if you win every game. And if you, or, like, something like that. And then if you hit, like, 3 wins, you get, like, +5 again. Or if you hit 5 wins, you get another +5 or something. Just anything to encourage people to keep playing, because I mean, some people would still go 0-3 and just drop out because they don't want to, like, grind for, like, you know what I mean? But, like, I mean, maybe you would have to fix the entire, like, you know, the amount of points you give out and stuff, but, like, in my eyes, at least in my eyes, that's a way better system than what we currently get. So, I don't know, like, I mean, to me, it's just interesting because my first thoughts was like, oh, how could you make this better? And, like, trying to figure out what you can do to actually improve that entire situation and stuff. So I'm like, you know, my tournament organizer brain was just, like, activated and like, oh, how could I make this actually good? And I was like, man, I have so many ideas. And they just decided to do nothing about it. Like, to me, that's bonkers. But like I say, I mean, it's just the way it works. It's just life in it. Anyways, there's the Wardy story for the day, guys. There's our off-topic. Nice to go off-topic just as we hit the semifinals, of course. Love to do that. Full wall off here from Honmono, but he's just going to expand. This one gas, he's just trying to play the mind game, so MaxPax doesn't quite know exactly what's going on. You would just fix how Tiebreaker is decided? Yeah, I don't know what you could do differently. I think, to be fair, with the current system, it makes sense. It's just the current system isn't good. That's my opinion, I guess. They could just make a better system in the first place. And don't even get me started on time rules, because that's also really dumb. I can go on, if you guys want another rant, I got a rant about how I got a rant about time rules if you want it. I can give you that one right now. Yeah. Honmono is going to have MaxPax coming across the map. There's Adept wants to try and figure out a little bit of what's going on. What about the score in this game? That's a great thing to update as well. Night Garden TV, I'm not wrong. MaxPax is up 1-0. As these Marines will get the Adept kill, actually, which is a pretty nice pickoff. So, able to grab that pretty quickly. You need a chess clock at the table? Actually, yes. If you had a chess clock at the table, it would be better. That was my first example, but apparently that makes certain decks worse because they take more time to play. Well, play your deck quickly because it's still worse anyway. Like, yeah, it's a thing. The core of the issue, very quickly as this game just sets up into what, a couple of Hellions and a Phoenix. The core of the issue is that you have 50 minutes to play a best of 3. And it's very common for a game to take 30+ minutes. So, one of the best pieces of advice people gave me when learning was, hey, if you're losing in, like, game 1, give up as soon as possible when you know you're losing. And go to the next game. Because it's much better that you basically, for every 3 times that you do that, and you get to win in game 2 and 3, and you get a win, every 3 times you do that, if you win 1 time out of that, it's better than just tying because you win game 2 and then you don't have time to finish game 3. So you're literally encouraged to not make any sort of cool comebacks because it's better to just give up and get to the next game already. Once again, utterly ridiculous. And then people, like, tell you to, like, play faster and stuff, and it's like, well, can I have a chance to think? And it's like, well, you're playing kind of slow. It's like, well, I was playing fast in the first 5 turns, specifically so I could have some time to think right now. That's not even remotely accurate. You don't think so? But, like, I mean, that's what, like, pretty much everyone I've talked to says. If you're getting to a point, you need to know when to give up. Maybe it's not as extreme as I've stated it, but, like, knowing when to give up is a good skill. Because getting into the next game and winning that game quickly and effectively so you get a chance at winning game 3 is much more important than playing for a tie. As someone who plays primarily MTG. Yes, but so this is specifically a Pokemon thing, right? Where in Pokemon it's very common to tie. I don't think so I mean, please, I don't mean to step on your knowledge if this is not wrong, but from what I understand, in Magic, ties are a lot less common than in Pokemon, because in Pokemon we don't have enough time to play the games. Phoenix is coming in and getting a couple of SCVs, by the way. Just watching these continue to come through from MaxPax. As Immortal finishes up at home, so he's going to be pretty safe to the inevitable push here and going for the Colossus. I mean, this is what we've seen game in and game out so far from Honmono, and we're going to use it once again right now. He's going to be coming across with this Marine tank push. Let's see what MaxPax has to defend. He's going to try and meet this with a couple of Immortals. The Phoenix will pick off reinforcements. We've seen a lot of people die to this today. Let's see if MaxPax can get the defense as it should. As, yeah, we got Force Field here. Just slowing things down, gets back to the battery. Colossus makes a big difference, because then you have a way to get through the SCVs and Marines more quickly. And you want to be able to fight with the Super Battery here so it can heal the Colossus, and I think that's going to be a factor. Super Battery should pop. Do we not have the energy for the Super Battery? I don't think so. The Phoenix lift up every single tank, though. The Immortals get through. First tank goes down. Second tank does go down, but it did kill the Colossus at least. A few Marines left over. Army supply is still okay for Honmono, but MaxPax didn't lose too much in this fight. More Immortals firing away. Just going to see the tank shot still firing. Super Battery still activating. And this is, so far, I like the defense. The only thing I think is that MaxPax, he did use Overcharge. It just came in a lot later than I expected to. I just don't think he had the energy right away to use it straight away in that fight. Just going to see our tank still battering at the front door. We do have a new Colossus here, and again, that's going to be huge for those Marines, as the Immortals are going to make the dive down. They just want to get rid of another tank here. They will get rid of one, but you lose both Immortals. And this push of Honmono has been claiming victims. Today, in OSC King of the Hill, he just loves this attack, and I mean, it's effective, man. It's scary. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not over yet. MaxPax is going to go around with these Phoenix and try and grab a couple more of these Marines. So he is going to begin to do exactly that. Camping out down here on Mono. We'll just obviously not rush into anything too quickly either, so making kind of the right call and just sitting back and playing a little bit more passively for a few moments. Just get a few more reinforcements here. I love the missile turret as well. It's actually good against Colossi as well, as just in case there was suddenly a Dark Shrine in play. Still have Phoenix, by the way. Trying to get rid of Marines, but coming across in some better numbers now kind of protects those Marines, so they're a little bit better protected, a little bit better set as the Phoenix try to harass and be annoying as possible. SCVs, Marines continue forward, and just going to be seeing a couple of Phoenix. We'll continue by. Army of Honmono pulls back up to the top side. Just going to be seeing this tank will be sieging up. Bunker is about to complete as well. Just going to be seeing our tanks, our Marines, all gathering up, and just going to see our Phoenix coming back through. Marines will get lifted, so there goes one Marine. Another Marine gets dropped back down. At what point might Disruptors be a good play to pressure the tanks from afar? I think the problem with Disruptors is you're not really going to be able to do enough, because the tanks should be able to shoot them down. The Colossi are a stronger option because you just need... Eventually, the tanks aren't as good because of the charge lots, but the Colossi are going to be necessary to get rid of the Marine count. Like, maybe now you've got 3 Colossi, a Disruptor would be pretty cute, but I feel like this is just going to be about Zealots kind of dealing with the tanks. Obviously, with the bunkers here, it's going to make it a bit more difficult. MaxPax is going to take some probes out over this direction so you can try and set up a third base. One Marine goes to the right, one Marine goes to the left. Phoenix just going to hang back a little bit. We'll drop our Nexus down over on the left-hand side. gonna have our Marine. Gonna get a cancel on the pylon Prism. Move back towards the center. And again, a few more pylons coming up. Next going in, concussive shells starting. Marines and Marauders all producing. The Phoenix back to the middle of the map. Zealots in the Prism. It's going to go for the counterattack, which, I mean, to be fair, makes a lot of sense, especially if you get another warp in of Zealots as well. It's going to be, it's going to be High Templar, so Archon Zealot to hit the natural. That's actually very good, right? Because this army's not really going anywhere, so now it becomes a bit of a focus to do other things. Yeah, I like this, getting more units and really launching into the natural. The Nexus over here gets found, these probes get shut down. Nice idea from MaxPax. It just, to me, obviously says you really do need to start doing something on this side. That's exactly what he's going to try and do. The Marines actually pulled up here to try and deal with the Phoenix, so in we go. The Archons are going to get a chance to get forward as well. Tank will drop down into the Zealots and the Archons, and it's a bunch of SCVs going down. You maybe don't have enough to fight all this bio, but again, as MaxPax right now, unless this army moves forward, you don't really need other units back at home, so just continue warp-ins over here and just start fighting this Terran army that is not great because there's no medevac here or anything. The Zealots are very tanky. It is 1-1 from Honmono, and that's going to be a pretty big advantage. Having 1-1 upgrades to work with. MaxPax struggling with the ramp a little bit. Surprised the Prism didn't come further forward so you could micro the Archon back into it. This could have still been a second Archon alive very easily if the Prism had just moved forward a little bit and then set back up to warp in again a bit later on. He gets one more warp in here, and the Zealot count is doing work. 22 dead SCVs. Honmono is not really mining much right now, so it kind of makes MaxPax's 2-base situation look reasonable. This Archon has to be careful, man. I mean, you're running forwards to get some shots off, but Bio Army can target that down. This is what I don't like about this, is now MaxPax has lost a lot on the other side of the map, and that became very expensive. All the Marines joining up over here, just going to be seeing the Prism making its way up the left-hand side. Missile turret. It's grabbing an OBS, I think. MaxPax's going to elevate it out of his base, because he can't come down this ramp. No, we scan, and now Honmono is probably going to realize a little bit of what's going on. Yeah, MaxPax is going to keep on bringing some units out of the main base so he can come in for the flank. This is a very scary few moments, because if this army gets jumped on while he's halfway unloaded, then it's obviously really not good for him. But I'm kind of surprised Honmono scanned, saw nothing, and then didn't go check over here with this, some units, and maybe try and jump on half of this, or make a move further into the natural or so. I mean, I guess he wants to fight here at the bunkers. That's the plan. MaxPax obviously cannot... What if MaxPax just brought a probe here and built a third base here and then just stands here with the army? I guess he's still got this position. He's still got the ramp you got to deal with. And MaxPax seems to be ready. He's going to go with this. You can obviously battery on this natural battery as well. Super battery there, and maybe get some healing done. He takes the first tank shot. In we go. 3 bunkers, 4 tanks. The bunkers will begin to fall. The Archon's getting forward here. The super battery not really doing much of anything. Extra bio shows up, and with the extra bio, Honmono is going to be monstrous in terms of damage he can deal. These units on the left side don't have a battery either, so now you can either jump on those. Maybe the Prism with micro is a bit scary, but I mean, that all just run up into the natural. It looks as though Honmono is good for game 2 at the moment, guys. It looks like he's going to have this. We recall back into the natural here as MaxPax. Has a couple of batteries there still to work with. Honmono again up in upgrades as well. Definitely a factor in this battle. It's just going to be seeing units of MaxPax continue to sit steady on the natural. 2 more Archons morphing in. Siege tank fires. Colossus takes a hit. More Marines coming out, just going to be seeing a medevac reducing, orbital command landing down. So you even have a 3rd CC here, which is why he just says, I'm not going to go chase up the ramp, I'm going to force you to fight into me yet again. I don't hate that. I think even if he got cleaned out here, this is probably the better decision, because he would take a good fight even if he got cleaned out. He would clean up a lot himself, and he's going to have the economy to build back up where MaxPax doesn't. MaxPax still has a base to build to basically level things out right now, so a lot going on with that. Let's do see a few Colossi pushing forward. Vikings, Marines, and a Ghost all pushing through, just coming through the center, going to clean up a little bit. Just going to be seeing the entire army still pushing down at the bottom. So MaxPax's going to go chasing, but I mean, there's a army in here, so he's going to be taking damage as well. Can we win a base trade? Honestly, with only Marines here from Honmono, that doesn't look great. 3 Colossi against Marines is going to be a massacre. Oh no, why didn't we do... Oh my god, he didn't have a Marauder in sight. Well, this is going to be weirdly close. Ah, well, 2 Vikings will eventually kill these Colossi. Run! Run! Buy yourself some time. Oh my god, we're going to split fight. Vikings will continue against the Colossi. Yeah, MaxPax actually got a lot done with these Colossi, man. Yeah, 2 Archon. I mean, he just had nowhere to kill 2 Vikings. Which obviously wasn't great. Gonna unload back onto the natural. That's gonna be seen. Our units all gathering up. Just gonna see a couple Archons. Our Zealots continue down the right side. Just gonna be seeing this push ready to hit the third base in the next couple of moments. And MaxPax is just gonna go. He's got Archons, he's got Zealots. He's been long distance mining to have some amount of income. Again, just no upgrades as well is gonna help. GG's, and Honmono is gonna get a map win off of MaxPax. GG's, and there you go. Alright, that was a good enough game that even stopped ranting to cast it, guys. Would you believe that? Yeah, I gotta run some ads quickly, guys. But I didn't even get to the good part of my time ranting for Pokemon. Ugh, unbelievable. Alright. Very fun game, though. Very fun game. As we get our next one. Ready to go here to Babylon for map number 3 between these two. Kira and Spirit going to be our other semi-final guys. They will wait for the winner of this series to be done, and then we'll jump into Kira Spirit on the other side and continue through. So Kira Spirit, MaxPax, Honmono all guaranteeing themselves $50 today. And again, that prize money was raised because, again, just player signups, guys. $400 because of 24 players participating. Honestly, very happy with the sign-up number. So, yeah. Did I play when you could attack for going first in Pokemon? No, I literally just started playing properly in like the last half a year or so. Yeah, it's a very new thing. Which is probably where I'm triggered by how so much of it works, because it's like, to me, it's just like, that's not how it should all work. Because in the top left-hand side, a red Protoss player from Sidestorm Gaming. This is MaxPax. In the bottom right, our blue Terran player from Prep Esports, it is Honmono. How good does one need to be to sign up? Anyone can sign up. It's an open cup. It's completely open. We'll be doing one of these every month where the prize pool scales with the number of players. Oh my god, did he just rapid fire move the SCV over there? Did you guys see those clicks? That was wild. What's his APM? Oh, it's not even that crazy. Yeah, but anyone can sign up. It's literally just a case of like more players for us just means a slightly longer tournament, which means we can justify putting a bit more prize money in it. It's just kind of rough because, you know, open cups are very hit and miss sometimes in SC2. And so the last thing I wanted to do was be like, hey guys, $400 cup, 9 signups, we cast 3 matches, and then the day's done, you know? So it's kind of just a way to kind of ensure that doesn't happen. So yeah. The Taminian, thank you so much for the 12-month resub. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the resubscription. Hope you're doing fantastic. 1 whole year. That should get some doo-doo-doos. The 1-year resub. Hell yeah. 3 racks, no gas. And obviously Honmono is playing this mind game again because, well, now 4th racks as well. Playing this mind game because obviously MaxPax has seen, you know, this be double... MaxPax has seen kind of all variations of this, I suppose, right? He's seen the very aggressive variation of this with the 1-1-1. He's now seen an expansion from this as well. And now we have ourselves the next variation. This one right here was obviously turned out to be pretty fun. With this 4 racks all in, this is going to be an SCV pull in these next few moments. So that's going to be happening very shortly. And yeah, you just SCV pull. Hope MaxPax is being a little bit too greedy and that you can kind of punish him for that. That would be the plan in these next few moments. Let's see if that will happen successfully or not. We're supply block, but Depot's about to finish. A few Marines already chasing the Adept back. You're trying to show only a normal number of Marines here so the Adept doesn't realize what's going on. MaxPax is a little... he's a little bit like, I'm not sure, mate. 2 more gateways, an extra battery. I feel like that should just be the defense already for MaxPax. That should be all you really need to be in a good spot in this. As our Marines will begin to move forward. SCVs will be pulled. And away we go. Across the map. Marines, SCVs, a journey to try and deal some damage. One battery is nice. Again, just the extra gates early definitely go a long way to helping here as well, I would imagine. I feel like that's going to be a very important part of this. As they do come up, this SCV force chases down this initial adept. Run adept run. Going to get a shade off. SCV starting to fight against those... yeah, we can actually kill the pylon here, so the pylon is not going to be alive. The battery will not be powered. MaxPax didn't really warp in much despite building the gateways, did he? He did not. Okay, these Marines are actually going to continue up here, and they're going to get in. Super battery now activates in the main, at least. MaxPax, as adept, is actually surviving a long time tanking against this. And with the Stalkers, you have some micro potential. Insta-kills the bunker, which is nice. On Mono doesn't have a ton of money, so bunker's quite the investment. So to actually kill it off and not allow that to cancel is big. MaxPax still up by 15 workers. We'll have another round of warp-ins here very soon. 2 more Stalkers and a Sentry. Battery has a little bit more healing. There's a battery right in the back as well we can use, and these Stalkers, I think, are going to find too much value. You kind of want to fight now before this bunker gets up. No. Good force field as well. Stop the Marines kiting back as much. Yeah, the Marine count's going to go down heavily, and I mean, there's not going to be any repair for this bunker, so maybe it's not really all that scary anyway. Which side do you want to fight this bunker from? I was going to think maybe, like, you want to try and fight it from near the battery, which is maybe from over here, kind of. That's messy because you can't really get in range very easily. Yeah, it's not great, but it's something, I guess. It's just very choky over here, and ideally if the Robo wasn't there, actually, it would be probably a bit better. Losing the Cybercore is going to suck because then obviously you can't warp in Stalkers, which are probably your best thing right now. Super Battery activates a second time in this game. There goes the bunker. Here come just a handful of Marines. This looks scary for a few moments, but it's not going to do it. GG's, good luck, and MaxPax is going to take Game 3 of the best of 3. GG's. All right, MaxPax is going to win it out. He is going to go to the finals, and he is going to be playing in our best of 5 to wrap things